What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Awakening World. I'm your host, Love Coach Scott Catamas. And tonight we have a really wonderful show. You know, there's a lot of really hard stuff going on out in the world. And for those of you that are regulars, as you know, the whole purpose of our show is to provide inspiration, information, and practical tools to support us through these challenging times. And we do believe that as hard as it is, for every horrible thing you can find on the news, whether you're watching Fox or CNN, whether it's left or right, it's all, you know, the hard stuff and painful stuff, all of which is painful. But for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And we like to highlight the people that are bringing healing to our world, that are bringing consciousness to our world. And so tonight, I'm really excited. My good friend and frequent co-host, Alan Steinfeld, is with us. And Alan has invited some of his friends. So we're going to meet a brand new gentleman named Ofer, who is a remarkable healer. Here's Alan. I couldn't find him there for a minute. We also are going to meet another new friend, which is Lloyd. And Sheila Seppi, who we've seen in her relationship to Conscious Awakening Network, but she's also a very powerful healer. And our newest regular, the wonderful Desirea. All four of these beings are going to be sharing their healing gifts with us, some doing group healing, some doing individual healing. So for those of you who are watching on Facebook or YouTube, this is a very good time to actually join the Global Peace Tribe. And it's really easy to do that. If you just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and when you go there, you can learn all about us. There we go. You can learn about our upcoming shows like what we're about to do here, and then click register for the new season. And this is a great time to register because we have a brand new season beginning next week. And so if you register tonight, you'll get the Zoom room link for tonight and for Saturday, and then for the entire next 3 months. So it's a great time to join the Global Peace Tribe. We do shows every Wednesday and every Saturday night. And sometimes we do extra shows on Sundays or when there's special events. There's some festivals coming up this summer that we're going to be coming to you live from. So it's a great time. And those of you that are regulars know that we always have amazing music because we have the most wonderful house musical artist I could possibly have ever dreamed up. Our wonderful beloved Omashar, back from England, hopefully has caught up on the time change a little bit. How are you doing with your rest?
I actually kind of like being unhinged from time because it gives me a bit of a spaciousness in my once busy mind. And when I used to travel the world, 6, 7 countries at least per year, I felt that I was just in my own time zone. And so it's a new experience for me, realizing that if my mind's not working, I can tune into my heart and my heart can tell me what to do. And so without further ado, or without further ado, this song is called Distant Light. And welcome all of our Facebook and YouTubers and our streaming partners. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm just going to press a couple of buttons, putting on an appropriate background, and let's went.
There we go. Let's all give a good twinkle to our beloved show. What a wonderful way to get the show started, as always.
I know that's I changed all the construct of that song and added another verse about 2 hours before the show. I lifted off with that song. I left my body for about 40 seconds, and I thought, hang on a minute, I'm still playing. Thank you.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. And of course, Omashar will be back with 2 more songs during the show. It is my pleasure to make contact with Mr. Making Contact, my good friend Alan Steinfeld, our co-host for the show. Welcome back to The Awakening World, Alan.
Well, Scott, thank you for another alternative to making contact with each other and ourselves, not just ETs, because, I think we're in a time of transformation. I mean, people have always said that, but something's shifting, the energies in people are shifting, and people have been arising that will help moderate that shift or make that shifting energies a little easier for those transitions these drastic transitional times we're in. So that's why I thought, let's do a show with healers and people who have unique gifts in that field that they can offer, and see what people can integrate into their lives. So that's the theme for this show. Some remarkable healers that are very unique and have new gifts to offer.
Alan, you always have your finger on the pulse of what's going on so many levels. Before we get into our healers and what we're going to be doing, is there anything you want to report about what is happening in the Making Contact Galactic Family ET world? Because I know everybody always asks, what's the latest from Alan Steinfeld?
Right. Well, I have to say there's a bit of a lull within the government kind of disclosure movements. Contact in the Desert was fantastic. There were a lot of great people there, and it's a coming together of the UFO community, Contact in the Desert. So a lot of people share new information, but I think as the summer and this heat wave, at least on the East Coast, is people are a little mellow, and I think we're planning for a great fall event, more hearings in Congress, more whistleblowers, more evidence coming forward. So this is a kind of planning phase, I feel, that will really break open in August and September. So that's sort of a little preview about Contact's theme. Yeah. And
well,
I was just going to say, I'm hosting the MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network event in Cincinnati in July. So I'm going to be kind of bringing updates to the National MUFON meeting, which is the oldest UFO organization in the country. So,
absolutely. Wow. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we have 4 wonderful healers. And again, for those of you who are interested, if you're interested in getting a personal healing, let me know. Send me a message in the chat. There'll also be a chance to raise your hand. We're going to give each person 5 minutes to just kind of introduce themselves, get to know a little bit about them, and then we'll have some Q&A, and then we'll get into the healing experiences. And Alan, would you like to introduce our first guest?
Yes, Ofer. He actually comes from that mainstream world that most of us have left. If you're here, you're probably a little bit on the edge. So Ofer was a former senior leader of a major bank. And because he had some serious illness and he went through a major healing, self-healing process, it's the wounded healer story. He is now helping to heal and facilitate other people's healing through a self-healing process he calls the alchemical flame, which releases trauma, restores vitality, and helps people reclaim their purpose. In Chinese medicine, which I study, they say people don't get well until they realize what their purpose here. That is the highest form of healing, connecting people to their incarnational purpose here. So I'm curious, Ofer, how you work and what was some of the major influences and what you might offer. Just a brief overview. His website is alchemicalflame.com. But yeah, share a little bit about yourself.
I grew up in Israel. I have had a very sort of different kind of a trajectory. I served in the military. I was a commander. I moved to the U.S. I had a degree in computer science. I worked in a corporate environment for 30 years, and I didn't know that I didn't know what I was missing. I obviously felt that something was missing until I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and then everything changed because I was told it's just going to get worse, and I would not accept that. I did not, I have this rebellious in me that always struggle in corporate environment, but it really came out, and I started to listening to spiritual talks, not just healers, but in general. And then I got on the shamanic healing path. I mean, I got a profound healing from somebody that convinced me, okay, I want to do this. Eventually, my symptoms disappeared. It didn't happen in one day, but I'm glad to say that today I'm not on any medication, and I was told officially by my doctor that I no longer need MRIs. So I consider that part of the journey complete. And I don't know if you want to ask anything else.
Well, I just wanted to ask, what was that healing, self-healing process that made you want to be a healer for other people? What happened?
I experienced with the guidance of somebody else, a part of me in front of me that was not in my body. That's where it started. And she asked, do you feel like this part of you should be in your body? And the moment she said that, I knew immediately it was like a yearning, and yes. And there was a work in a room, me spread on a table, and 15 people work on me from all directions. And after that, I had shiver run up and down my spine for weeks. And I said, I got to understand what just happened. And I learned, and then I started applying a lot to myself. I started to see things so differently because I had all sorts of experiences as a child that I just put aside. I actually believe I had an NDE when I was being drafted into the Israeli military, and I just put it aside, and no, it didn't happen. And so many things started to come up that just convinced me there is not just something to it. What we see, what we feel is not just it. It's such a small part. And that really captured me. And then I started to work as a healer after taking several classes and never looked back.
Well, great. You're going to do some healing here a little bit. How exactly do you work? If someone said, oh, I have this, this, and this, what do you do?
So there are elements of shamanic healing. I move in time, I move in space. There are some elements of trauma healing where, you can maybe look at part healing, but go into trauma places that are trapped in the body because we don't know how to release them, and because they're trapped in the body, or they're bubble up in the body, they accumulate all sorts of interferences to them. And so I look at that, and I will help you get rid of interferences that come from other lifetimes, from ancestral sources. And I'm also looking at what is it that is stopping you, because I mean we're all coming to a healer from a place of suffering, and I look at the journey that I give someone. I usually look at it as a journey from a place of suffering to a place of clarity and purpose. So clarity and purpose, really important. And so I see myself as spiritual healer, although the healing really translates into the physicality. Just as I experienced for myself, I worked with others that experienced similar things. And yeah, go ahead.
So you're sending them energy, or it's not talk therapy, it's more you're energetically focusing on them. Is that it?
I tend to talk, but the talk is in parallel for the mind. It's not what I do. So I explain what I do as I do it, and I like to call it the inner hands. But I, for example, go a lot into the sacred space of the heart, and we will start spinning chakras, and we will remove beliefs that don't belong here anymore, or because everything is energy. So we're clearing energy. So there's a lot of clearing. We might go into a journey into different past lives to see where did something start? Why is it showing up now? Because we all get these stuff from other people that then we make it about ourselves and we said they did it to me. But the reason we got triggered is because something is already in us. And so I help making this distinction between what's mine, what's not mine, and use different techniques to releasing what's not ours.
Great. I look forward to seeing this happen because I'm sure there's a bunch of people in our Zoom rooms that would love to experience this. Wouldn't you say that, Scott?
Absolutely. I got a quick question. I mean, we're already past the 5 minutes, but when you said there were 15 people working on you, there were like 15 astral beings, or I'm just curious what that meant.
No, which the astral beings, it was probably 17. And there were 15 people in the flesh working on me, and then there were some additional beings in the room. Yes.
Wow. All right. Well, we look forward to more with you, Ofer, and thank you for being with us. And we'll get more Ofer shortly. And Alan, you want to introduce Ken?
Yes, Ken Lloyd. I call him the new kid on the block, although he's been around, but I've actually never met anyone who works the way Ken does. I said, Ken, I feel some weird energy around me. He goes, okay, just give me a second. And he snapped his fingers. And I don't know what you did, Ken, but you completely cleared my head, and whatever, weird energy I'd picked up from whoever at that expo just was dissolved. So I think, well, he calls himself a multi-dimensional healer, a soul activator, embodied the oversoul aspects of profound walk-in experience. I mean, he dissolves implants, traumas, activation, dormant DNA, realigns individuals, connects them to their multi-dimensional self. And I think you serve ice cream on weekends. No, I'm kidding.
Sugar-free.
Sugar-free. And so you do, I don't think you've had training. It just kind of came to you from inner awareness. Well, describe it for us. What's going on for you?
So my, awakening, I was a cybersecurity entrepreneur. I've built 3 companies, right? And all 3 of the companies were acquired. I've got no religious background, no spiritual background at all. But through a trauma event of anger and, an unaligned business partnership, I found myself through a spiritual transformational experience where the idea of having a near death where the tunnel opens, you go to the other side. You imagine the tunnel opening and they come over to you. So metaphorically, I had a walk-in come into my field and begin directing me and pushing me to learn about basic energy, auras, chakras, so on and so forth. I had a pituitary tumor at the time. I was pretty sick, but I didn't get instantly healed. I had no epiphany. No one met me on the other side. But what happened is this walk-in that was in my field began shifting how I saw everything. All the news went off, all the social went off, my diet changed, so on and so forth. But that wasn't the end of it. One walk-in, and later on I had 13 more, then 9 more. Then the higher self stepped into my physical being, 18 months ago. Then moving on forward, and then the idea of being a soul braid, which is you have different souls in your field, through a Buffon Cambo last July, almost 12 months ago, I became a soul infusion. So the 22 that were there at the time merged with me into the physical structure. I'm an embodied collective, and I'm connected to the omni-consciousness stream of divine intelligence. Miss Sheila Seppi, you'll meet here shortly. We are kind of opposite sides of the same coin. We have that same stream of connection, if you will. She's better with words than I am. But for me, I see energy, and I talk to the consciousnesses of that energy, and I ask the consciousnesses, usually I ask, for them to leave of the disease or the condition. And what happens as I'm doing that, I'm instantly shifting your energetic field and rebuilding it, collapsing and expanding, rebuilding it. And this allows the healing to happen in almost real time in many, many cases. I can see all the past lives and I can see all the other realities and the multidimensional selves and so on and so forth, but I don't go into the story. My team doesn't do that. I'm here for the masses. I'm here for millions and millions of people to help what I call remove the sandbags from the hot air balloon. We're all trying to ascend. We're all trying to raise our frequency. Well, to do that, we really need to get rid of the trauma. We need to get rid of those limiting beliefs, so on and so forth, all those things that are holding us back. So this is what my team does, and they do it rapidly, right? So we can continue on our journey of expansion and activations and moving into ourselves.
Wow, that is a mouthful, but because it's no, it's good. I think people will be really excited when you do your 20 minutes of healing. Thanks, Ken. You're a multi-dimensional, multi-talented being here. So great.
Thank you.
We'll have fun. Yes, yes, yes. And there she is, the queen of the walk-ins, I have to say. She wrote the book on it, and probably my favorite walk-in because you really, Sheila, I've introduced you before, but your story, and you don't have to go into it tonight, but her story of transformation of who she was and this spirit awakening, I can call it that, is very dramatic. And like all the Ofer and Ken just said, this is a story of the wounded healer, really, those that have healed and gone into that awareness to find that medicine for themselves are now, like Sheila, doing healings for other people. So I'm so happy you're here. I mean, you have a lot more to say. I have a lot more to say about you, but I think, just the understanding that you are, you're channeling more energy now. You're picking up more frequencies. You have the basic walk-in frequency, but then when that was stabilized and you healed the body of dramatic illnesses, now I think you're at another level and you're bringing more multidimensional talents. You want to talk about what's happening for you now?
Sure. So thanks, Alan. Thanks, Scott, for the invitation. And you're right. I mean, even just like this morning, I was getting all these downloads and I woke up and I had to blink twice because I'm getting all these light language symbols coming in gold. And, it seems like every day something new is happening, shifting, something changing. But the reality of it is I am part of a larger Oversoul collective, and we work within the blueprints of the holographic fields of people and even within the soul matrices. So when we work on somebody, we're working within that crystalline light liquid structure and the DNA, and we're able to augment that through like clearing distortions, bringing in light codes. We infuse them, activations, timeline collapses, recalibrations, energy body repairs. But each session or the teachings that I do, I try to bring in the light language because that's where the codes come in. And I use, sometimes I'm seeing sacred geometry. We use tone, different parts of, just deep remembrances that start to come up and healing every layer of the person's body or beingness. And so, when I'm working on somebody, they'll feel tears or they might tingle or, they get this deep stillness and they get this profound clarity because the codes that come from me actually come from the Master Oversoul within the Omni stream of divine consciousness that we really are all a part of. It's just that some of us kind of remember that and some of us are, aware of where this energy and frequency is coming from. And so, when I work with people, the results are absolutely phenomenal. And I always tell my collective, it's like, okay, now I've got this, because they wanted me to start the Conscious Awakening Network. And I thought, okay, so this is the creme of la creme. I'm finished. And it's like, oh no, I get one thing stabilized and here they come in, with something else. And, I've been doing this work actually for about 20 years. And if you've had sessions with me, you've had this kind of work done before. But when it first started coming on, and I started literally seeing the grid system of people, because when I look at people, I literally see their grids. It kind of goes all the way through them, left and right, front and back. I see the distortions, etc. And I went to the eye doctor and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. I got these floaters and, sometimes they're, vertical, sometimes they're horizontal. And he's like, lady, you don't have any floaters. And I'm like, yeah, I really do. Because I mean, you're not taught about what the grid is. And I had no idea. And so I have to say, I've been back to the eye doctor probably, I don't know, I can't say 20 times, but a lot of times with different things, just kind of verifying and checking it out to make sure that, there's not something physically wrong with my eyes, because we always say, oh, we want to see. And then when you see, it's like, well, no, wait a minute, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Or what is that I'm seeing? Or am I just kind of, sort of making it up? Was that a flash of light from something else? But what I find is that more and more people are having these kind of experiences, and more people are waking up to the essence of who they truly are. And so one of the things that I talk about when I'm working with people is, we are already everything that we're desiring to become.
Mm,
We just have all these veils that are on us. So my job is to kind of pull those veils off to the
mm,
point that we can see and step into that 5D reality that's already
right.
here. So
That is great.
we've already got it.
Thank you, Sheila. That is going to be so brilliant. All these people, and we have one more. Scott, do you want to introduce or thank? But that is brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you have any-
It's great to have you and to learn this side of you, Sheila. So, anyway, we'll see Sheila and our other healers shortly.
Yes.
And I'm going to keep Alan up for a moment, because in the beginning, there was Alan Steinfeld. And Alan Steinfeld begat many of our favorite presenters.
Yes.
Well, this one that he begat has become a regular right up there with Omashar.
Mm,
And she is our magical, mystical energy sign languager. And we've all been enjoying you, Desirea, but now this is a chance for us to actually learn a little bit about who you are, the healer, and of course you get a chance to demonstrate it a little bit later. But tell us about your
I
history.
just want to say, Scott, Desiree's like the sound, the light to the sound. Omashar's the sound, she's the light. So you get this sound light sort of essence here.
Brilliant. You're absolutely right.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for having me on the show. I've enjoyed it so much. It's kind of like I sit back and I just interpret the energy. You can watch me DNA upgrade as the double helix goes up, expansion as it goes out. If you have a love frequency come out, you'll have that expand from that heart chakra. And I've just really appreciated being able to just show my gift, and then also just do the healing work on the calls as well as we talk. A lot of what I'm doing in the background is reading that energy, feeling it. And as we talk about some of those heavier issues, I'm just bringing that love and the light to it. Right. And I've been really enjoying being able to have the opportunity to do that. So thank you.
Well,
But as you,
Scott, I'm so happy you recognize the raw talent that Desirea is, so thank you for me.
And Desiree, tell us a little bit about your history. How did you come into becoming the wonderful, magical being that you are?
Yeah, so the same story, the healer's wound, right? Went through that drama and trauma throughout my life. I had actually had abilities when I was little, but then through that drama and trauma, I closed them off. And then one day I just said, no more. That's it. I'm done. I'm going to do anything that makes me happy. And one of the very first things I did, I walked in to Reiki. And she said, oh my goodness, you just got out of an abusive relationship. You just lost a baby. Like, holy moly. And I go, you're close. I was like, I'm moving out on Saturday. And so that was huge for me. I went through a lot of transition. I went through a lot of heartache. I went through a lot of healing, a year's worth of clearing that garbage. And one of the first things I found for me personally is my body moved as a pendulum. And that's kind of how I interpreted energy. So I was like standing in a crystal shop and I was like, should I get this one? And it was like, I was like, should I get this one? Should I get this one? And I was like, should I get this one? And all of a sudden I was like, oh my goodness, my body moves like a pendulum. And from there, I realized that I could move energy with my entire body. The way it moved in my body told me a story, just like sign language, right? When I'm raising energy, my hands go out. I'm expanding energy. They go out like this. Grounding energy, hands parallel to the floor. Light worker energy, if we're bringing that in. All of those different movements within my body are like sort of like mudras for your hands as it moves that energy and it tells me different things. And that's kind of how I talk to my guides, as well as getting those visuals and the auditory as well. Then when over the years, what I've done is I just enjoy meditating. So I spend 6-8 hours a day sometimes just out in the woods meditating. And I just get downloads. And so as I started working on people, I realized that those downloads I'm getting, I'll get them a week or two before I'm actually working on somebody. And they'll upgrade me to whoever I need to work on. And then it'll be completely transformative for their lives. And then I love watching it. I love the transformation and just watching them grow. But I do want to mention that the meditations I had this morning were about mercy. And mercy is really about having compassion and forgiveness shown towards somebody when it is within our power to actually cause them harm. So I just love that. I love showing mercy to other people. I love just, giving mercy to myself and allowing that to really show that forgiveness on our souls as well. So I thought that was pretty huge.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yes.
Well, I'm gonna bring up all of our guests, and this is where it's Q&A time. So, if anybody in the audience has a question,
I have a question. I have a question for. Well, let's start with Ofer. How does your work compare with some of the other work these people here today have brought up?
It is what this is based on my feeling, because I don't really know how they're going to heal until I see it.
Right.
But the feeling is that we're all very heart-centered, regardless of what else we say. And I believe that when hearts connect, healing happens regardless of what modality is used and what else is going on.
Wow. That says it all in a way. Thank you. Thank you. Scott, do you have one question from
Yeah, I've got actually a question for all of you. And you can answer in whatever order you want. I'm going to bring you all up right now. And the question is, how do you perceive your transformation as, Clark Kent into Superman, or, kind of mainstream human being into extraordinary light worker? How do you perceive you being a microcosm of the macrocosm of what's going on for our planet? Obviously, the show is called The Awakening World, so we perceive that the planet is waking up. How do you perceive that dynamic? And I'd love to hear from each of you.
Okay. Why don't you, Sheila, go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll go. For me, some of the memories that I have was at the very beginning of time, when the source energy itself started its divisionary process, when it started compressing the energies down into the various souls. And the way I looked at that when I was shown that is it all comes down like the DNA helix. And that DNA helix then is found within each of us. So each of us contain 100% of all that is. It's just a matter of being able to activate those different codexes within the DNA as to what we bring forward, because even within our own DNA of the body, we have the junk DNA, which is really where everything's kind of happening. And that's where we have our spiritual gifts. That's where we have all of our galactic histories, our past lives. That's where all the knowledge that we've accumulated throughout the time comes from. And everybody has that. It just depends when we enter into this life and we come down to have this human experience, what actually gets turned on, what is latent, what gets turned off, because we don't need to have the same experiences all the time. So I think we do contain the universe within as part of the larger, DNA of the universe.
Right. Yeah. Scott, can you rephrase re-say the question when we go around the room?
So the question is, how do you perceive the planet waking up and transforming as it relates, especially to your own personal transformation?
Yeah.
In other words, the idea that, we as individuals are a microcosm of the macrocosm.
Yeah. Ofer, do you want to go next?
Sure. My journey was suffering as a starting point, as a point where there is some self-discovery, and then moving through a process into clarity and into finding something very meaningful that I didn't even know that existed, and I certainly did not consider myself intuitive or anything. And so for me, this is a common thread, that why do we seek healing? Because something in us is not aligned, is misaligned, is distorted, and when you heal yourself, you learn how things can be different, and there is so much common to all of us and I love patterns, and so I'm looking at the patterns as I go through different experiences, and I say, well, if it worked for me, this pattern can work for others.
Great.
Ken, what do you have to say?
So my experience is very different. I don't have the knowledge, the background, and in fact, I'm pretty much isolated from things happening in the world. I'm not connected to energy such as Gaia or the universe in an awareness. I'm here for a non-duality, non-polarity mission, right? I've woke up to my job. This is literally my job. So for me, every interaction with everything I do is unique, new, and fresh, without any type of micro or macrocosm for it. So I'm not very good at these panels because my experience is absolutely laser focused in what I'm doing. I have no idea what's going on in the world, and I got to tell you, I live a pretty good life. So, yeah.
Well, no, that's refreshing. You don't have to know. You're tapped into something beyond your mind, is what I get saying.
And you're great for the panel.
Yes.
Beautiful. All right, and Desirea, do you have any thoughts about that question?
Yeah, I think the more that we work on ourselves and the more that we grow within our own spiritual abilities, the more things that we let go, the more things we forgive, the more peace that we bring within ourselves, we expand that out to so much around us. Not only, our house, our communities, the places that we work, we visit, that types of things. And so for me, it's that work that I do within myself and that energy that I channel and I read, that as I go out in the environment, I'm actually instructed, here, work here on these grid lines, here, work here on this tree, here, work here on this city, here, you need to go to this place and work on these people. I have no idea where I'm going to be on a daily basis.
Wow.
And it's just like driven, going here and here and here, and just being guided by the universe going, let's go help people. There's times where I'll do just meditations with, light workers, and we'll be having our hands like in the actual grid system, just adding light to that grid system, trying to raise that vibration of the earth. There's times where we do meditations for the collective, and we're literally just sending love energy, forgiveness energy, mercy energy to the collective, raising that vibration. And then likewise, the angels go, here, bless these people. And I go, okay, let's raise their vibration so that they can go around and raise other people's.
Well, Scott, what's common to all these four healers here is the energy factor, the vibrational factor. And I think it's symptomatic of the collective tuning into what we're really about. What we're really about is energy, and this is like a shift from, oh, I don't know what energy is, to like, energy is here. That's so. Talk about, everyone here. How do we move into a future where energy will be accepted in a way, the way all of you see it? I mean, how does that look for society? Ofer, you want to go first?
Sure. I offer all sorts of services, including biweekly services, free services of journeying. I just love the idea of journey, taking somebody through whatever it is that comes up, and through this, it's. I mean, I had it in me for years, but I feel like I'm getting closer to it. That it's time to go mainstream, because I have been, senior management at Wells Fargo for so long. I mean, I understand what's going on, how little kindness could lighten up the place, for example. I mean, it's all sorts of things that I learned to perceive as weaknesses in me, because it was considered, or it is considered still, a weakness in a corporate environment. It's something that just now I see as, well, maybe that was not a weakness. The not wanting to make a decision, and wanting to see all sides. All sorts of things that like that. And so I feel it's coming closer. I feel maybe.
Whoops.
Oops. Yep.
Yep.
Well, all right. Well, it'll
Hopefully
come
he'll
back.
be back.
All right.
Do you want to tackle that question?
Yeah, Ken.
Can I get you to repeat the question, please?
Maybe
Oh,
small
the
businesses,
question
medium
was-
businesses, large are getting ready.
Oh, okay. You had frozen for a second, Ofer. So can you just repeat that last sentence again that you just said?
Yes,
That you-
that there is room in different levels of businesses to listen to, and maybe the words and the terms are not going to be starting the same. But if you talk about energy, I think there is a better understanding, and it's growing, of how everything is energy, and how you can change the energy of the room, and you can change your results. There are ways to do that.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Ofer. Yes, that's sort of the question, Ken. How do we bring, I mean, it's a word that's been around for, 30 years, but I think it's gaining momentum. And how do we really bring that into the public, that we're really energy, not matter, and that energy is the key to activating the higher consciousness. And that's a kind of modality in which we should live, or could live.
So, there's a snowball effect here happening, right? So as more and more people become healed, right, through whatever processes they're using, it does show the world that, hey, I can go from trauma to healed. Again, everything in the middle, right? Because this is creating a spark, a ripple effect. We're all beginning to feel more and more energy. It's happening regardless of whether we want to or not, especially as ascension happens, right? So as you become healed, you're telling so-and-so, they're having the experience. It's becoming mainstream as a matter of process, period. There's no stopping this. So this is how I see it. Everyone's getting a taste of it, and everyone's starting to want more and more and more. And as they see their neighbor who's never had a spiritual encounter all of a sudden have these things, and they realize, oh, I heal, I'm activated, I'm connected, it becomes mainstream. So this is how I see things.
Yeah, it's miraculous. It's really, really happening, right, Desiree? Wouldn't you say? And like, you're traveling in the world every weekend, you're in a different city. Of course, they're kind of spiritual events, but what do you see happening when you travel from city to city around the country, Desiree?
Oh, I see more and more people waking up. See more and more people getting curious. I see a typical progression on what their awakening happens. I love to see that as well. I see them expanding. And I think for my part is I like to bridge the gap between that analytical mind, that logical mind, and then that more creative, right? That more spiritual. And when we take and we bridge between that science and that spirituality, and we start showing people like real hands-on examples on how to feel energy, how to move energy with our bodies, and they start having these experiences themselves, and they're experiencing in a way that they're understanding it with their minds. Because when we explain what an aura is and the energy in our body and the channels that it runs through, and they're experiencing it and they can connect that logical and the spiritual, that's when we really have that impact. And then they go, oh, look, this does make sense in a world where I was told this stuff is kind of a little, weird.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. So Sheila, this is really snowballing since you had walked in on the scene, right?
Oh, absolutely. 25 years ago, and if you started talking about energy, people had no clue what you were really talking about. When you talked about, like transformation, they didn't really understand what you were talking about. There were some books out there, but people just didn't seem to be talking about it. I think one of the things that's really happened, that has really helped all of us, is the fact that you have organizations like, the Heart Math, and they have done the scientific studies, and they're actually being able to, bring that information forward. And people are starting to say, hey, we are energy. We do have a field. We are able to impact everything. It's hard to say to somebody on the street, what, everything is energy, everything vibrates, everything, is created from that. And the quantum science proves that everything is energy. They're going to look at you, kind of cross-eyed. But when you start talking about, that the heart can actually radiate a field, and that you walk into a room and you can feel when there's been an argument, or you walk into the room and you can feel that something special has happened, or when you go into meditation with a group of people, how that energy begins to expand and people really start to feel the people in the room. I think more and more people go out and they share those kinds of experiences because it's very visceral for them.
Yeah, no, I think it's very exciting. Scott, what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just riffing on what Sheila said, we're experiencing this beautiful merging of science and spirituality. And the two are coming together in a really, really beautiful way. And I think, through all the amazing people you've had on Conscious Awakening Network, all the amazing people that, I get to be with, and Alan and I are both, and all of us, we're like every week, we're meeting amazing people doing amazing things in the world. And it's beautiful to see how all these tools are coming in now to help us to ascend. And however you want to see it, whether you want to see it from an astrological standpoint or even from a Christian standpoint, I think we all know that the world is going through a very extraordinary change. And I'm grateful for all the tools and all the new talents that are coming through with people like yourselves to help us with that. And one of the greatest and most important talents of all is music.
Right.
It has always been our artists that have led the way, whether it was through the Renaissance or any time there's been a big shift, it starts with the artists. And we are blessed to have our house musical artist, Omashar, with us, to provide us with inspirational music so we can kind of digest all the information we're gathering and getting. And it is now time for the mid-show Omashar experience.
The open roads of this brand new start, the peace that flows through this loving heart, freedom comes with letting go. This life renewed, new seeds to sow. So take my hand, I'm with you now. Relax yourself, your furrowed brow. The past is gone, so say hello. No looking back, onward we go. This is the life awaiting us, with family supporting us. The sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise our brand new day. New mountain peaks for us to climb, new roads to walk, no reason why. It's time to know that we are one. With all of life, the central sun. This is the life awaiting us, with family supporting us. The sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise our brand new day. Freedom comes with letting go. This life renewed, new seeds to sow. Whoa.
Love that song. And we're going to go to gallery view. Let's all give a big twinkle to Omashar. That beautiful song. And a reminder that you can support Omashar by going to omashar.bandcamp.com, where his recordings live. And of course, you can download them. And you can have Omashar 7 days a week, and not just on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And you know, Omashar, there's something kind of wonderful that I thought of with that song. And that is our dear Diara, who I'm going to put the spotlight on as well. She has coined a word which you kind of just sang to if you changed one word or one letter. Do you want to share about your new word, Diara?
Sure, thank you. Omashar, when you were singing that, it reminded me how we've become a family here. And that is when friends become family. And that's definitely our awakening world.
Yeah, well, I saw it pop up in the chat, and my mind is so like a cat. I almost grabbed it and tried to put it in the song. I thought, no, that's going to really throw me off. But whatever. Thank you so much, Diara. Yes, we are family. We are family. And 7 days a week. Was it Diara? Or who is in is it Ecuador? There's a day, or is
Durina is in Ecuador.
She said it's a Beatles week or something. They have a or Beatles Day. They have a crazy day every day. It's like Dog Day or Flowers Day, or this one was Beatles Day, and so that's 7 days a week. You can get Omashar music. There we go.
Diara is, Durina is wonderful because she always lets us know what day.
Dorina, thank you.
Yes. So between Durina, Diara, oh my heavens. All right. Well, now we are in the time of the show where our healers are going to provide healing experiences. Some of them are going to do private healings for individuals in the group who want support. Others are going to do group healing. And we're going to start with Ofer. And Ofer, actually, I have somebody who is our webmaster. She makes all sorts of wonderful things happen for the Global Peace Tribe. And she requested a healing. And this is Tammy Moore. And for any of you in the Zoom room, if you're interested in having a private healing with Ofer or one of our other people, please raise your hand. You can just do that. It's best if you do this raising of hand, although I see you, Ian, but if you can do that, that way you go to the front of my screen. And
I also want to say, Scott, if he can't get to everyone here, he also does private sessions. I'm sure.
Well, of course, we're going to take a look at everybody's website
All
and
right,
learn how to get, you know me, Alan, we're not going to.
I know you, Scott. Yes.
That's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Hi, Tammy. Can you unmute?
Hi.
Hi.
Lovely
Very nice
to meet you.
Yeah. So, tell me what is it that you'd like to? What is it that you'd like to do something about?
I guess I'm having some energy fatigue, anxiety. I'm not exactly sure. I've never done a healing before, so I'm not exactly sure what to ask for.
That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. And so just feel into that energy fatigue that the way you describe it, and the anxiety. Just feel into it, feel it. And see when you feel it, if there's anything else that is coming up for you. Is there any other feeling that is coming up from underneath it?
Maybe a little frustration.
Okay. So I take it you're pretty good at hiding frustration and anger under other layers, and there is but what I did feel it was when you were talking about your anxiety, what I felt was from this area and up, something that was like contracting, a contraction, and it felt a little bit fear-based. And so I'd like you to feel into just the heart center, because there is a spark there, and it's great that you're closing your eyes. You can just feel it or see it, and just notice how when you see this spark, it becomes a flame. It's the alchemical flame or the inner flame that is in you right now, growing as we speak. You might even feel some warmth wherever it is, because it might be somewhere else than what I said. And when you breathe in and out, it grows, it purifies, And now see your awareness just drawn into your physical heart, literally into the physical heart. And you can bring your awareness right there, but we're going beyond the physical heart because you have a sacred space of the heart that is in another dimension inside there. And that's where we're going. So you just know how to bring your awareness there. I can see that you're there. Good. And you are protected there, but you also get some additional level of clarity here because we're inviting your higher levels now. So your higher levels, your consciousness, your awareness, your mind, they're combining. And so you can also feel or see this boost to your flame just as we're bringing your high level down. And tell me what you feel now when you go into that level of anxious frustration. You don't have to stick to that. Whatever comes up.
It feels more open.
There is an opening. But I want to also show you one more thing, and that is your heart chakra is always spinning. Now we're going to spin it the other way. And if there was a clock in front of you on the wall, it would be clockwise, is how it's going to spin. And that's the spin of release. And as we're spinning, just imagine that whatever that was holding this anxiety in place, and it was restricting, it was restrictive, there was some limiting belief associated with that. And maybe it was something like, maybe it was something about, I don't know, I feel powerless to change whatever it is that I want to do or be or change. And just feel how that energy, because what is a belief? It's just an opinion that is also an energy frequency in your body. And now release it through the spin, because the spin is creating this spiraling vortex that you can just release anything. Release the anxiety, release even anger, because there is a trapped anger there. So release it into the spin of your heart chakra. And also release beliefs about being powerless or being vulnerable. Release that too. And then take your awareness back into the center of your heart and feel how you again stand in your flame, connected to your higher levels. And just know that this is you, this is the eternal you standing there. This is not something temporary. This is always here. And when you are there, it's easier to know that you can release anything simply by paying attention to it. It gets released automatically, almost. And now spin the heart chakra, just by intending it, the other way, counterclockwise, and open your heart. Part of the problem when we started was your heart was closing because you didn't feel safe. And now it feels safer to open. And when it opens, it allows what wants to come in that is good for you. You are standing in the center of the heart, and that's what's coming in. It also redrawing the boundaries around you. So what you need, what you want is here for you. Grace. And you feel the frequency of grace coming in into the heart. How does it feel?
I felt all of that.
There's a lot of movement.
The spinning motion, I could feel it further than just my heart.
Yeah.
It brought me to tears.
It's great because whatever came up is being released. But what came up when we started, you didn't know that it even wanted to be released because it was sitting somewhere in the unconscious waiting.
So I could feel when you released it, I did feel different. It felt looser and more roomy. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. And so what we did is work in the heart realm, one of the 5 realms that we work in, but that felt like the right realm for you today.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
for volunteering.
much. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Beautiful. We've got time for Ofer to do one more healing, and then we're going to go to the next person. And don't worry, Kathy, Lorna, Trisha, you'll all get a chance. Ofer, if you don't mind doing one more, would you be
Absolutely.
up for working with Kathy?
Hi, Kathy.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
You too. Thank you for doing this. So are you, do you want to know?
Yeah, just say whatever it is that is on your heart or on your mind.
Well, there's a list. So we'll go with the main thing that affects everything, I think, is PTSD. So my nervous system is, I always feel, and I live in a place that's always like 24/7 noisy, and the person upstairs, and I feel like, you know, at this point in time, until I can move, I have to just deal with it. But my nervous system, because of what I, experience and how I experience things, it's like I'm constantly, my nervous system is being assaulted.
And so you're sound sensitive.
Oh my God, everything. All my, yeah, yeah. I'm sensitive in most energetic ways too, not just the basic level. So I feel like there's, I don't get like any reprieve.
Yeah. Okay. So we will do something to ease it, because you mentioned PTSD, and PTSD that comes from this lifetime, but there's also the component that is coming from past lifetimes and other generations too. So it's all connected. Just breathe and try to breathe slowly but deep, and imagine or feel or see this spark inside that, when you breathe in and out, grows into a flame. This flame is really useful because it can burn whatever needs to be adjusted or transmuted. And today it's your nervous system. We're going to go into a realm now, and you can imagine yourself stepping through the flame into that realm that I call the shadow realm. You're guided, you're safe. I promise you there's going to be nothing that trigger your sensitivities right here, but everything is kind of shrouded in fog, and a guide appears and places a mirror in front of you. And you can look in the mirror, and what will be reflected to you is whatever it is that you're associated with these overly, over sensitive, over something that is happening that is triggering it, can sort of be reflected in a very limited way. You just see what you need to see. You don't need to see all of it, just a little bit. And just know that it has been captured. It has been captured. And now, because there are bubbles of that trauma that initiated the PTSD, and it is on multiple places in the body. There is one on that temple, there is one on that temple, and there is one on the lower belly, and there are a few more, but I'll focus just on these 3 for now. And what I wanted you to know, these are trauma spots on your body, because when you got traumatized, it was never released completely. You did, I know you've done work, but it was never completely released. And so there are sort of things, energies, forces, interferences that are still holding it in place. And every time you get triggered, although this trauma is bubbled up, the bubble is thinned And so everything is traumatized again. We're going to bring your alchemical flame, this flame that you're already aware of, to touch each of these bubbles, because it's available. Whenever you want it, it will touch anything around you or in your body. And right now it's touching each of the bubbles wherever they're lodged, and also the energetic envelope around them, and it's releasing. And I see it releasing ancestral trauma that has been moving through the family, and especially from the mother side. And I see your past, where the light was snuffed out, very brutally, and in a way that you remembered, in a way that you couldn't forget, because it was very traumatic, but it was over time. So all these memories are now being healed with your flame. But for past lives, I'm also asking for anybody that got involved in it, because there were others, to come together and do what I call energy exchange, because everybody takes on everybody else's trauma, and then we hold others' trauma and they hold ours. And I'm asking at the spirit level for everybody that was present in these other lifetimes to release what's not yours and receive what's yours back to you. And that includes you, Kathy. You're receiving now something that you didn't have in a long time, and that a sense of safety that has been a very active missing force in your life. It's a force when you feel safe, it's a power, and when you feel unsafe, you just feel the gaping hole that is open there. And so we're bringing safety from where you lost it. Part of it is hiding away or giving away your power to somebody else, and that's coming back to you. Now, what's happening for you? What do you feel now?
Oh, wow.
You can say whatever comes up.
I feel like I could cry, but it'll come when it comes, because I always had to hold that in. I wasn't allowed to do that, but I could feel a lot of energy in my solar plexus, energy in the back of my heart, way left. And then there was something, I don't want to say hurt. I have a high tolerance for pain, but there was some and more than pressure, but a lot of energy on the top of my right side of my head. So, but you were really right on the money.
I just got a message for you, and I don't know who said it, but it was a woman that said, you can be who you really came here to be, because you were not allowed, right? You were not allowed to be who you came here to be. And it doesn't mean a certain job or anything like that.
Right.
But it is, for me, it's a sense of complete freedom. It's pretty hard to feel imprisoned in an apartment, imprisoned in a body, because you are imprisoned sometimes inside of you. And all this is a permission for these walls to open up, because, and it's not always easy, but it's always available. It's always available. You always have a choice, because somebody told you that you don't have a choice. That's how things are, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. And that's just not the case. And so we're waiting for you at the right time, whenever. And this bright light that is inside of you, this flame, is growing. It has been growing all the time when we were working together. So just pay attention to that flame, because every time something comes up that is saying, I just can't do this anymore, bring this flame and let that flame connect with whatever that is and see what happens for you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. And God's blessings, Kathy. May you continue to work with that.
Thank you.
I want to let people know how they can learn much more about this wonderful man that we're meeting tonight, Ofer. His website is alchemicalflame.com. Alchemicalflame.com. Definitely want to encourage everybody to sign up for his free ebook. And of course, that way he gets your email address. And Ofer, is there anything you want to make sure that our audience knows looking at your website?
Yeah, you can find my one-on-one services under services, but more importantly today, free journeys are available. I do these 30-minute free journeys every other Wednesday. And so come join me. I can't tell you in advance where it's going to be, but it's always going to be something exciting or at least something healing. It's always centered about some aspect of healing. And then courses. Yeah, so you register here and
it's always 11 a.m.
It's always 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay, great.
And it lasts 30 minutes, and you don't have to do anything except for sitting back, listening, close your eyes. In the end, I give a few minutes if you want to share anything or if you want to ask a question. And but it is just intended as a gift, as a healing gift. It's really centered around healing. And then there is courses. There is a class that is starting October 6th. It's a 7-week class, 2 hours every week on Mondays. And there is a discount of 25% until July 15th.
Oh, wow.
And so if you feel like joining, what this class will do is teach you how I heal so that you can learn how to heal yourself. And if you want to heal others, that's fine. But this is a focus about, everybody carries something. And so we're going into the realm of the heart. We're going into the realm of the shadow, which I did the heart initially in the first session, and then we did the shadows for the trauma. There's also the magical realm that connects you to your astral body and all the other bodies and times and places, and it's wonderful. And then there is a bridge to the divine realm where we have the divine realm has its challenges, but it also has a different view about polarity, which is wonderful.
Beautiful.
So if you want to experience this and learn how to use it for yourself, just register for this class because prices will go up on July 15th.
Okay. And again, that is alchemicalflame.com, and then just click courses. And of course, you can scroll around it pretty easily structured. Ofer, what a blessing to meet you. And I hope you'll come back and be on the show again sometime.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you. It's a long way from Wells Fargo.
Yeah, a little bit of a distance. And thank you also, Alan. You're both a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for our next person, Ken is actually going to do a group healing. Don't worry, we're going to do some personal healing, so we'll get to you, Lorna and Trisha. But Ken, you're up. Tell us a little bit about what you'd like to facilitate.
Yeah, no problem. So, when I do my healing work with the group, the way I like to describe it is I'm kind of like the heavy machinery. When I come in, I'm going to remove a lot of energies, right? And you're going to feel it in the body. Most of you will. The idea here, depending on time, I'm going to clear the field, right? I'm going to work on trauma release in the body and in all the chakras and also in the emotional body. For those of you like activations, we'll hit the third eye, and then there's a DNA activation to remove distortions and divine your human into, realign your divine human template. So this will happen really fast. Let's see if 20 minutes covers this. Are you guys ready? So
yes,
you guys
go for it.
Yeah, so you guys have a choice. You can do this with your eyes closed and visualize the night sky or hanging out in space, or eyes wide open. Shikari aro kamari ko niya kari ato kari abri shukuro to kari kari ati kari arba kishila abri kanara tari tori no kari abri kishili aro to shukari kamari ko niya abri kani tari ato kari abri ko tari shikiri ko abri ko niya ara yeti to kati chiki kari abri ko to de para ati kari ato kari abri ko no tori tari shikari ko abri ko niya abri kani tari ato tori ati shiki to kari abri ko niya tari ati kishi to kari abri kanaro tori tari ara tari ato do shulur shukuro do kari nari aro tori ora tari abri no kari ando shini to bani ando kari mani anda tori no kari ori shi shukuro kari Okay, so that's how fast this happens. That's the clearing of the field, the etheric field, and the field in the body. We kind of break down the energetic forces, if you want to call that, and then rebuild them pretty fast. We're going to move into the trauma release. Shiko nakariyama paliato kurioto. Shikaliara Kaliora Kabadioreto Kanori Shilady Aro to Ria, Terisha Kadiori Kabadiconi, Aliato, Doretta Pariganishi, Nitiki, Bricodier, Shuluricodianiato, Tirapico, Toriana Mariana Cariara, Ria to Ria, Reteria, Didita to the Cadato, Kabadicaniati, Shikoro, Rucanemalotica, Baniana, Anu, Shinemi, and Nicodiaria, Shikorotori, Aro, Toro, Kishi, remove it suppression, didn't Shikaro, no Coriaro to Roria Nambaliaro, Cariano, Cabadiconi, but when I'm going to get you to the idea that I got to close. That's the root. You move up to the sacral. Shukolia mama leriato to colia the capayeseto open. Caleto Corio, Roto, Shaliara, Tariareto, Riani, Shore, Nabrinetariata, Calorto, Criaroto, Shocoliarmani, and the Carian Shindiki, Niricani Oshoria, Shokoro, Bandora, Maliaro, Tariaro, Tariere, Tedicoribia, Shokoro, Toroto, Riere, Tarianari, Rotini, Brinito, Rianari, Rugidia, Shokoro, that Carabrico, Shokor in the Canario, Toriero, Teria di Sidia, Shokoro to Carabrico, Nierabrieto, Teatario, Tour, Torbario, Shidiricaria, to Capaya, Chacaducoma, to Amapalia, Aria, Shokoro, Coriani, Corredi, Rotaria, Tariora, Teria, Notia Mariana Tori Amaliare Kino Korea to Kurutu, Shukurdo Korebrico in Amalieta, the Aro, the Reteriano, Shukuria, the Kiliet, Kuru to Korea to the childhood trauma, Colearo, Korean and Tikarieta Kuruto, Shukurian Macanero, American, Shulu to give it the Calco, but you should do the American Gato, which would be Tikia, Shukabrio no, the Amalet, the Organic Shukuria, Tikia, to Kodo, Shukuria, the Tata, the Shuru to Rebrico, to the Tariato, to Rebrico, Roto, Retariata, Yeti, Shukuriaro, Toro, Toriana Mariona, Tariata Kia, closing support. Nema Maloria, Kialiara, Taria Roto. I'm just going to hit the solar plexus. I'm going to close down any alternate realities or timelines that are bleeding through. Kulama Aro, Kuro Toko. Shalakana American American Gamble Correttoria, Shiro Gamble Corotto, Corio, because in the Atakia, Criotoria Marico, Toto, Toriaria, Shilic, and Toto, Toria, she could have Caricodia, Cremane, Anna Carino, Corea American Yarico, Rotariaro, Tori, Toriakin, Arata Caro, to the American Etica, Shikarica, Repico, no Chicken Yarico, the Shikaro, Toria, Kinia, Kielorco. Closing support. Moving up to the heart. Shiliata caroto, Mamboto, Shiliato, Torianama Malaria, Caliaro, Torali, Aliet, Calia, the Cariamaniatico, Torioto, Caliaro, Tidy, Caneto, Coriamatici, Netiqueta Cotoco, Chocolate Cariamo, Bayada, Kaya, Daddy, no Abaleada, Teliare, Aroto, Chocolado, Corianambali, and Caliero, Caliero, Tielor, Toriaro, Tedebani, to Global Narabico, nobody at two, to Toto, Atadia, Chicoto Capia, Cariaro, Toro, Toriamachani, Cariato Curia, Rota Maliero, Toriari, Tishu, Cariana, Maliaro, Toriaro, Toriabario, Chocolate, Coriani, Shilorio, Toriaro, Pariana, Cariara, Paria, Oro, Dariaro, Toreto Coreapa, Coroto, Coria, Shigurut, Kurishan, Urban, Paleada, to the American Yeti, and Arikia, Shicaloro, Coronoro, Toriere, Tia, the Rio, Taramarico, the American Shikedacario, correct, Gilar to get close and support. Shukoliana, Cor Amama, and Nieta Caroto. Gonna do the emotional body next, those trapped emotions. Shukura prekono karia bakini ti to group or karia takiria. Nerigono shigrina kania takiria. Nerigono shanikan orikani obriconia tiklia karia to karia bricoria brekinita karia to karia to karia proto kishi to kurikuri takit kutushikia. Shikalor karianariana, Larionoriaro torianitia teria, Shikolor Korean American to the Kinioriaro to the initial kinetic loro to Napaliaro Korean American she could to Kapaki the Kabak and Anticapical Antiquinit Chicken Cadiaro to Rotorianaria Korean Takia, Shikolor Cabraco, American Kinetic she Riaro to Roto the Nation to Korea Pichkea Tarioto. Right? Cool. Just gonna take a breath. All right. Gonna move on. Yeah, let's do some activations. Gonna hit that pineal gland. It's gonna decalcify it. Gonna alien activate it. Hold on. Okay. Moving on. Let's look in the DNA. Shkriatoko. Karimarkariata. Shkriaru, Namariari, and Iri, Shkriari, and Tori, Amaricotori, Arcobrio, Tori, American, American, Oregon, Shikorotori, Teriatic, Shikria, Noria Mario, Noria, Shikria, Shikoro, Shananta, Nataka, Territoria, Shikorio, Shikoria, Rotoria, Mariana, Shikorotoria, Rieta, Korea, Koremapariana, Tariana, Kadiochoria, Kadiotica, Kinetic, then Corishonoric, and Norpetorina, Kadiata, Kadiota, Rotidi, Shikorio, to come up, Papa, Tariatic, and Shikorodor, Kaderica, almost there. Creonto, Rotari, Shino, Kadiotica, or Toria, Shikoria, Prioritaria, Tiria, Tokarisha, and Order, Shikoria, Korea, Rotari, no Shikaria, Toshikaria, Shikalea Roto, Shukora Mariata, Kariet, Kalieroto. All right. You guys can come out of that when you're ready. How's everyone feeling? Drink some water. It'll help.
Well, first I have to say, we've had a lot of people who do light language, but that is the fastest. How do you even move your, like, is... Yeah.
I don't. They do. I'm in the back checking my laundry. When are we going to have for dinner? I'm serious. And I'm watching my mouth. There's frequencies coming off my tongue, the left side, the right side. I'm like, you guys can't do the middle? I'm having conversations with them as they're doing this.
Wow.
And all those different tones were different beings that come through to deliver what they need to deliver through the Omni stream.
So is it always different every time you do it?
Every single time.
Wow.
Every single time. Yeah. And every couple of days, there's new languages that come through, usually every couple of days.
So did you pick up anything particular for this group or this moment?
No, when I'm doing a group, I'm checked out, they're checked in. It's like we're in a big bus, right? And they're driving and I'm in the back. So individually, I can tell you what's going on with the light languages. I'm talking to the organs or talking to the soul or whatever I'm talking to. I can figure that out individually.
So what effect will people have who've heard this tonight? What should they expect?
I'm hoping you can sleep. There's usually some sleep issues for the first day or so. Also, because there's trauma release in that massive amount, you might find yourself emotionally purging within the next 24 hours, right? Let it happen. Let those tears flow. Hit the Epsom salt or saltwater, Florida, if you happen to be near there. But yeah, so ground. Take it easy on yourself. There's massive energy that's shifted in your body. You may feel it moving through your body and getting stuck as it needs to exit.
You know, when you talked about decalcifying the pineal gland, I felt and still feel right here. I'm actually feeling it still.
Yeah, I was actually sending sound waves while I was talking to the pineal gland, telling it to open and decalcify. So I'm having a conversation with whatever I'm talking to, but however I do it.
Wow. Well, here's how people can find out more about Ken. His website is kenlloydofficial.com. Ken Lloyd, LLOYD, official.com. Definitely sign up to receive his free recording.
Yeah.
And Ken, where would you like me to direct?
Go to the catalog.
Okay.
So one of the things, I am here for the masses. At the very top of the menu, you'll see the catalog. I am literally booked out to almost mid-November right now with my sessions. So what my team does is we put together these small light language. I wouldn't say they're small. They're quite intense, just like you experienced, with all these different conditions. I think there's like 70 or more different catalog items, right? So this allows me to reach the masses until they can get to me, right? And I do events every Wednesday. I've got an event coming up. Well, tonight I just did my the Matrix event tonight. Tomorrow I have the Abundance event, and then next, you'll see under the events there, the Abundance event on June 26th, and then the Relationship Healing and Divine Partnership Alignment. That is with Miss Sheila Seppi, because we have the same connection, the same consciousness stream. We're both able to deliver those frequencies, right? Kind of hitting both. So we did an event. Geez, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had like 1,200 people on the event, right? So this is our event for, Sheila can probably talk about it as well, but this is our event on the 30th. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Sheila, anything you want to add to that event that you two are doing together?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting, working with Ken because, the frequencies are so similar. And when we combine our frequencies, it's just like, it's just like this powerhouse and this laser that comes in. And so we're able to go back, we can look at collapsed timelines, whatever it is that is being brought to us with our foresight into the field, cleaning the karmic patterns, going in and looking at those childhood traumas. And, and it's not just about, like a partnership with someone. The most important partnership is the one we have with ourselves. And so many times people have, dropped into distrust of so many other people in their lives. And they draw these lines in the sand and then they step back and they draw another line in the sand and they step back. And when that happens, that registers in our cellular structure. So all of a sudden we say, gosh, I want to heal. And the cells are like, yeah, well, that's what you want to do in this moment. But what are you going to do to bring it forward? So we can go in and look at those patterns and help to pull those out for people as well.
So your energy is very complementary, and that's why it's perfect. You're following Ken right now with your own healing frequencies.
Yeah.
So what will you be doing that's different or complementary to what Ken just did?
Well, if I'm doing individual, it'll depend on what the individual needs. If I do group, then I can go into the field of the group and I'll start in the physical body, go all the way out to the crystalline, compress everything down in, lock it into the DNA, and then send it out. So, I mean, whatever, however you want to do.
Yeah, well, let's go. How about a little of both? How about if you do something with Lorna, and then we'd love to have you do a group experience, and then we'll go to Desirea.
Okay, great. Hey, Lorna.
Lorna is one of our favorite global peace tribers.
Hi.
And you need to
You're
unmute
on mute.
Lorna. Unmute Lorna. Thank you.
I can't stop smiling from the pineal gland thing. I feel different from before that light language. So what I've been dealing with is similar to the prior people who've worked individually. I have the Nazis on one side and the Cossacks on the other. I feel like I'm carrying lots of ancestral trauma. And I also feel like I have this negative entity. It's just very hard for me to see my own goodness. And when I take a step forward in that direction, these negative voices start coming and they say, I hate you, I can't stand you. And it feels kind of like my soul is floating out there someplace. Like I know I left my body really, if I ever entered it, honestly. I left it very young, lots of trauma in this lifetime as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting ready to say, because you do have a braid of the ancestral energy that flows through you. So when I start working on you, I'm going to start pulling some of those threads off, because starting at about age 3, I can see that you started having lots of negative input. It was one of those things, you know, shut up, get in the corner, be still, we don't need you in here. And all of a sudden you started, you know, pushing all your feelings in. It's like, oh, I've got a flower for you. Well, that's great. Lay it on the counter, kind of thing. And so you started forming this kind of invisibility. And this invisibility then carried throughout your life. Now you're at a point where it's like, but I want my light to shine, but not too bright. Because if I do, you know, something might happen. And so that's kind of where you are. You're in this, like this yin yang kind of push pull kind of polarity right now. That negative energy that you're seeing or feeling around you actually is all of this, you know, low self-esteem, lack of trust, all these kinds of things that are these pre-programs. Now, as adult, that doesn't run through, you know, the front of your mind. It's like, I got it together. I'm this, I'm that. I understand where the trauma came from. You got it. But guess what? That program is still running in the subconscious. And so something happens, bam, you're right back there and you're responding to that. So all of that energy that has never had the opportunity to dissipate is just building and building and building. Sometimes I call those Klingons because they kind of attach to the outside, not to the inside. Now, on the inside, they become a distortion, and there are some of those as well. But here on the outside, they kind of latch on because they are you. And these Klingons, for lack of a better term, start to develop their own consciousness, because energy never dissipates, it simply changes form. Everything has consciousness. So the first thing I want to do is go in and I want to take that little baby out, and then we're going to go in and I want to start this unbraiding process. Okay. And so, are you ready?
When you say that little baby, what are you referring
No,
to?
unbraiding. This
Yes, no, but before that you said we're going to take that little baby out.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm calling this energy that started to build upon itself. They said, we're taking that baby out of here. Okay. In other words, we're going to remove it and we're going to send it back. Okay. Because it no longer needs to be with you. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is have the golden spiral coming down from the top of your head all the way down the spine, connecting at the heart, connecting into the sacrum and down into the core of the earth, because I really want you grounded for this. Breathing in and out through your nose, dropping you down into parasympathetic. Yenala kita kudu gubun shini yana kata kata ruchu kopa. Ani kiri wa ne ra kudu gud machine ya kudu kopa. E shiwe ni na kudu kopa. E shini a kudu kopa. A shini ya kudu dudu shukopa ta. E kudu so take it out. Ala kudu gudu machine ala kudu ba. Ala kiri wi shini ala kudu ba na e kitiki ala kudu ba. E shini ala kudu ba ne shiki kudu ba ne shiki ala kudu wi shini ala kudu ba shina ala kudu ba. Akitish, Wishikinia, Alakitudubashinia, Alakitudubashia, Tikapa, and Lukudubashian, Katasa, take a breath in and out. Notice how you're feeling, and I'm going to start the unbraiding, because when I'm looking at you and I see the holographic grid, you have these, it's like almost a burgundy color thread that's kind of wrapped, and that's what I'm looking at as the ancestral. I'm going to go ahead and start unwinding that. And Lukuba isheniela arakata dorushukuena a el iana anakata kataboa. Eshini a nakatukuba nea katatarishikina a alakutu washena ataka. Urshuktupa anakate alakiti warshi anarakatakatukuba nea shikate. Take a big breath in and out. We're going to reinstall some programming. Ena arakatara kiti warshikinarakata. Urshukuina katar going to fill up that parakitina arakatukutupa nishikinia anakatukupa. So you got a bunch of nodes that are closed. We're going to open and clear. Ashina alakatukubashinia alakatukupa. Anakatara kiti warshinia arakatiki. Wushutupa na akiti. Arakiti wa na ne. Wushupa ekena arakadudu rushi nakata. Shina katakutuguba nekata. Eshiwa analakata rushu kuana edakitinia naka, bringing in the light na alakatugupa ishishina alakatugupa edikula enikatugupa anakatakatilutukupa anshe. Ikiwa nakatakutukupa. Big breath in and out. And how do you feel?
It's kind of hard to speak. But at one point I had a kind of an image of levitating.
Good. Yeah. One of the things
lighter, I guess you'd say lighter, huh?
Good. So one of the things that we still need to do is this compression phase that it's what I call a compression, because I push the energy from the outside all the way back in, and we need to lock it because so much of your life you've operated outside of yourself. Okay. You've operated in the field as the observer. And so we're going to bring that energy back in if that's okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be rock solid, sister. All right, here we go. All right. Machine, Ashinia wala katakata rushukua arakitini arakitupa narakitikitu rushukuna arakitupa narakitiki wishinia akapapa kutukupa ana arakatara kutukupasha. Big breath in and out. Ania anakakutukupa anaka. Okay, how you feel?
I feel happy.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, you've just kind of been hanging out there a little bit. You've been doing twice the work. So it's almost like you had a walk-in, but you didn't have a walk-in. You kind of had a partial walk-out, and so I brought that in the same way that I do with a walk-in.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Oh, honey, you're so welcome. Okay, you want me to move to group, Scott?
That would be wonderful, Sheila. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to go through, I'm going to start looking at clearing distortions. I'm going to repair and move out any timelines that have collapsed. I'm going to activate like some of the higher codes that are just waiting to come in. Some of them will be similar. Some of them will be whatever it is that's waiting up here to come in for you. Then there's going to be some locking of the seals around the body because a lot of times we have, it's almost like a calcification that builds up around those. So we're going to clear that off and drop those back in, remove the ancestral imprints, the karma, any kind of karma loops, emotional loops, anything like that. It's going to be really easy for me to go in and do this because Ken's done, this job of already clearing the field. And so what's happening now, everything that's just been waiting to come up is now your second layer that's coming up. And so we're going to move through that. Well, also, if you've got any artificial and implant seals, any frequencies that don't belong, anything within the ley lines that don't belong, we're going to restore the original blueprint, lock it in, and let's see what happens. Okay, so just start by taking deep breaths in and out through the nose, because that's the way I like for you to breathe in. Drops you into parasympathetic. So we just open up this large container that's already been created for us tonight. Washina adikana kuba ania tatela katagodo washani ada katakata rushuku papa nia katari kitakata rushuku na kata ari kitiwane ara katukupwa, calling on the divine human templates. Ishikina ada katakupwa na adikidila shaka katukupa going right there in the holographic field, specifically in the etheric blueprint. Calling on all of those epigenetics of the soul. We're adding to that right now, opening up in the field, bringing in those seals, whatever it is that needs to go in. Open up your highest divine timeline, and also open up those birth plans so you can step into that which you already are. Moving out into the emotional and mental field, allowing those distortions to rise. Pulling those out and collapsing any in the old timelines that no longer serve you. So some of you bringing in these parallel lifetimes. Moving out into the astral field. Several of you've got like these Stargate openings with a little, little bitty dark goo around there. We're just going to clean that out because we need to close that. Close it and seal it, but they say we got to go back in to the emotional mental field because there's some nodes that are locked on the holographic grid. Wherever they cross, you've got these nodes that hold codes, expand codes, whatever. We got to clear off some more distortion so you can hold these codes. It's getting ready to come in. Aina alaktukupa ne karatukupa ani ina wana katukupa na ni kititi laktukupa kataya katatukupa ni shikatakataka ushikina la conceal patikupa narakataka nakutukupa naka. Okay, moving back out. We're moving into the matrix field. One of the streams connects into the heart, one to the throat, one to the third eye, and one to the crown. Ana in kuma and she warakatukupa and she was shikina kutukupa shikidina alaktukupa akitikiti akina alaktukupa shanikiti wutupa and yakata or the kututuma and yatukupa nikitukupa alaktik workitaka alakata anakatarshu anakatarshikini arakataka or the kupani at bringing in some of the Christ codes. Baniara katakata shukubadekata edikiti warakitaka madushuwa indakata alakitupa akiwashika pina alaktukupana. Take a breath in and out. Moving up to the throat and to the crown simultaneously. And anchor it. Moving out into the spiritual realm, out into that spiritual body. A lot of distortion around religious beliefs, things you brought in from past lives. Also, there's some galactic, a lot of people have galactic connections that are just waiting to anchor in. So we're going to open up those portals. Akitikada cookie in a katakutukupa and shukwa ana tiki what nakata. I keep no on the kutukuru ana. I kitakutukupashina like Arakutukupa wishing ku anakatik altukupa na tikita kalakatukupa ashina alaktukuba ana arakitukuba ne that clear that alaktukuba ashina alaktukuba ana ane no kuruba anakata rebuild alaktukuba na liktukuba alaktukuba na liktukuba. Now infuse it. Washina alaktukuba ekwa alaktukuba and shiwani alaktukuba alaktukuba and I like it. Alaktukuba alaktukuba akitik. Moving out into that celestial field. Washina alaktukuba shina alakata where the angelics, the Elohim, again, there are some galactic beings here as well. Ma anoma ana anaduba aniwa ma nukuwa kana alakita awapa na ani kata alakita wadukuba ashikina alaka alakupa el iana aka anaka wapa ana oduru shukuana iyana katato washikina patakasiladian alakatukupa moving out into that crystalline body. Adjusting the mirroring system because we mirror what's within. Without, we create our own realities. We're going to just clean and clear those. And enforcing that field. At the top, it's beginning to open and bringing in new seals, whatever's appropriate for each of you to receive at this time. Close and lock it. Money begin to compress. Open and insert and anchor it. Compress, send it through the body. Okay, there we go.
I thought I heard multiple times, only one word I was able to make out, and that was Shekinah. And I'm wondering if you're calling on the goddess Shekinah.
I don't have a clue.
Okay.
I mean,
Anybody else notice that?
it's like, I'm glad.
The only word that came through was Shekinah. Every now and then I was like, oh, Shekinah.
I have no idea.
So I don't know.
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, that was amazing. Definitely everybody put into the chat box what you've experienced while I show you Sheila's website. And it's very easy to know because it's her name. Sheila, Sheila, Seppi, SEPPI.com. SheilaSeppi.com. Embracing multidimensional transformation. She does, as we can see, amazing healing work. Sheila, what would you like for me to show people from your website?
Let's see. Always they can go to one-on-ones, but I have workshops coming up, and I also have groups that are starting up again in July, and that'll be on Mondays.
All right, let's take a look here. Wow, what a beautiful image.
Yeah, I work with Elder Mother Tiamu, and she, it's kind of like we join together, and she comes through me. So she can be a very prominent figure. And she came in and gave me like these 16 teachings in a set. And she said, these are to go out, and then there'll be another 16 to come. So I'm like, okay. So I've learned when my group tells me to do something, I can do it the easy way or I can do it the hard way, but I will do it. So I've learned like, yes, ma'am, I'll do it. Here we go.
She looks like what an extraordinary being. Wow. Pleiadian? No, Andromedan.
She's Andromedan. Yeah. And so down below, we'll show some of the topics and things that we'll be talking about.
Wow. Well, that looks like a wonderful thing for people to be doing, starting on July 7th. And what time of day is it each?
6:30 to 7 and that is mountain time.
Okay, great. Oh, Sheila, thank you so much for all that you do.
Oh, thank
I
you.
so appreciate you, and thanks for being with us. And yeah, you're a blessing to our world, our awakening world. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, we have one more extraordinary healer, and it's of course our very own Desirea. And she has kind of a unique idea. So, Desirea, you want to share what your thought is for how to proceed?
Yeah. So the way that this works for me is I sense energy on my body from whatever's happening with whoever I'm working on. So what I'd really like is anybody who needs any healing, whether it's for you, a loved one, so on and so forth, please put that in the chat. As I work, I'm going to see those and I'm going to set the intention as well, and you'll see that those will come out within the healings. Okay?
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
All right. And then, of course, I always love to hear what's happening with you as we do this. So what do you sense on your body? What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? So go ahead and put that in the chat as well. I'd love to hear that. So we're going to start by taking a nice big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to connect to that heart center. We're going to raise that vibration even though it already is. Right now, what I'm doing first is widening those heart chakras. Yep, widen all those chakras. There we go. Healing energy is expanding, so we're doing that as well. I am seeing things like we're picking up the hernia. I believe it was a dog in there as well. All right, so we're removing any of that negative energy, anything that's been weighing us down. Realize I'm doing that counterclockwise swirl with my hand. That counterclockwise is a reversal, the removal. So we're clearing up anything from that. I'm holding my left hand in an upward position. So that's receiving. So I'm receiving that cleansing energy. There we go. Getting higher and higher connections. There we go. Got it. Gosh. There's your light language coming through. Good. Opening up that crown as well. Really good. I'm hearing the light language from Ken as well. Feeling that pineal gland opening up as well. Very, very nice. I am getting some muscle soreness coming along as well. That's lightening up. I am seeing those little lighthouses within every one of your cells brightening up as well. Those lights are being activated. Those lights are turning on. Our light bodies themselves are getting much, much stronger. I do feel those channels that are allowing that light energy coming in to get a lot more open, a lot more connected as well. We're going to start by raising that divine feminine energy. Go. Grounding that energy at the same time that we're raising that divine feminine energy. We have Mother Mary coming in, Isis coming in, Oshun coming in. Galactic Council is coming in as well. Expanding. I'm just asking, what else would you like me to do today? They're actually taking individuals right now, placing them on what I call the Egyptian healing table. There is a vision that I get that is inside the Egyptian pyramids. There's a table there. There's a white quartz crystals underneath, or clear quartz crystals underneath, shining upwards. There's some copper shining down, so on and so forth. But what I see when I see this is light beings, the Pleiadians, etc., are coming in and they're actually doing the healing work. I'm seeing things like a right hand is being removed and replaced with an upgraded one. Our hands receive and give energy, so the fact that the right hand is being replaced, that tells me we're upgrading the energy that we can give. Left hand is being replaced as well. That's telling me we're upgrading the energy that we are receiving. Yes. I am seeing a lot of work on that kind of circulatory system as well. Yeah, a little bit more on that nervous system, that PTSD, that anxiety, that fear. We're releasing all of that as well. I do see the golden Akashic records in front of me as well. We are unlocking different things for those individuals here today and the ones who will watch it later as well. So we're just unlocking those things that you need to unlock in your Akashic records at this time. I do see your galactic families coming in as well. There we go. Grounding that energy, good. Clearing that space around us, upgrading. If you notice, I feel like I'm getting taller and taller, so we're just upgrading, upgrading, upgrading. Very good. That soul's blueprints that's housed within our spine. I do see that spine opening up, that blueprints are coming out. That information itself is allowing to be surfaced at this time and integrated at this time. We're bringing in more strength energy, raising that masculine energy. Got a big like opening on the crown as well. At the same time that this is happening, I'm getting some balancing between the masculine and the feminine energy. That union coming together, the balance of those two things. Looking at the foundation of our masculine and feminine energy and doing slight adjustments there as well. So I'm a little bit of chiropractor work on that pelvic region. May feel a little bit of adjustments, even all the way up the spine. There they go. Lightworker energy is coming in, and that is one of my favorite ones to come in, because one of the ways it comes in is I hear the words, "Hey, you guys." Just like the movie Goonies, we are calling in our friends, we are calling in our buddies, we are calling in for supports, and I love that. So that light worker energy, I do see that getting stronger and stronger for those of you who are light workers. I do see that lotus flower expanding, opening up. That 1,000-petal lotus flower on that crown chakra that is opening up. We're opening up more and more of that crown chakra. Feeling that open up all the way down as that crown opens up, blends into my third eye, and so on and so forth as it moves down. Good. Very nice. White buffalo woman is coming in as well. So we're getting some of that shaman energy coming in, that healing energy, that peace energy. Yeah, getting ascended masters coming in as well. Looks like we have a huge gathering of not only ascended masters, ancient healers, galactic council, quite a few. Wow, there's quite a collection of guides here. Thank you for that. Looking closer at the heart and the solar plexus, making sure that those are aligned. There is a little bit of blockage right where that soul is housed. We're tuning into that now. I do see that sorrow of where that is. So I'm just going to ask, maybe please ask for peace, forgiveness. Forgiveness for ourselves, forgiveness for others, forgiveness of other situations. Across all timelines, all lives. Again, that mercy is coming in, asking for forgiveness. Peace. Ooh, there goes the high frequency love. Yes, there's the angelic love coming in. That divine feminine energy growing as well. That Venus energy. Some Jupiter energies coming in as well. Expansion on that heart chakra. Nice. Oh, what a great visual I just had. So sometimes I'll see love frequency coming out from that heart chakra. As it comes out, it looks like an infinity sign spreading out from the heart. And what I'm seeing is that infinity sign is connecting with the individual next to me. That's connecting with the individual and connected to them. So what I'm actually seeing is this huge connection of all of that frequency of love that we're bringing in, just connecting and expanding, and it is absolutely beautiful. So I say thank you for that. I'm going to ask that we take this love energy that we all have and we expand it. We expand it beyond our house, beyond our neighborhoods, beyond our cities. And we ask for peace, love, joy, and forgiveness for the entire universe. And we ask that we just spread our love as far as we possibly can get it, knowing that as we're linked and as we're intertwined, we can grow that much further. I'm here seeing the guides just stand in awe, in ovation, just saying thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being that part that helps change the world and bring in more light. Thank you for being aware of those things that you sense, aware of your own intuition, aware of what you truly are. And thank you for bringing those sparks of light to the world. And I'm seeing almost like these sparklers come down. So I just want to say thank you for that. Massive expansion. Good job. So it is. Go forth, the blessed ones. Thank you from all of us with love for what you have done today. Raise your vibration, expand that love to the world as you go forward. So much gratitude, so much love. Thank you.
Oh my, that was so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to bring Alan back up. And a reminder, everybody, that you can discover all things Desirea at her website, which is her name, Desirea Pitman, Desirea, Desirea Pitman, Pitman. And there we are, Global Peace Tribe. And she is doing New Moon Manifestation. And that's happening tomorrow night. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's the new moon, so it's the new beginning, right? So I just want to go through a formula that I've learned that helps bring in that manifestation. And so when we get together as a group, we bring in that collective energy as well. So we manifest all things positive. I love that one. And then one of my other favorite classes, if you scroll down just a little bit, we're talking a lot about light language today. If you want to learn how to channel light language, it is not this Thursday, but next Thursday, I'm actually teaching a class with a coworker of mine. We've actually gotten about half the class to automatic write by the end of the first class, and half the class we're teaching, or actually speaking light language by the end of the second class. So hugely transformative. People walking in without abilities to channel, and they're walking out with the ability to channel. So huge.
Beautiful. All right, well, you can find all things at her website. I'm going to bring up all of our presenters for us to say thank you to them. And there was a question that came in from Tammy Moore, but I appreciate it because I have a dog. Do these group healing experiences have a positive impact on our fur family?
Good question. Anybody?
Yeah, I'll take that one. It does. You'll see your dogs react. If you have a healing session done on yourself, you may see your animals come over and cuddle with you more. They may react in certain parts of the healing, so on and so forth. But they feel it. They sense it. When the energy's high, they may get a little bit more excited. When it feels really good, they may fall asleep. You'll notice it.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
You might have noticed that about halfway through the show, Jasmine Baird came up and she was very assertive. She wanted to be on my lap. So,
yeah, one of the things I was just going to say, Alan, one of the things I notice is there's like this reciprocal thread that goes from the chakras of people to their animals. So whenever a human is experiencing something, a lot of times the animals will pull that energy from them. And it's the same is true whenever we get encoded, the animals can pull that in as well.
Sheila knows because her dog is attached to her lap.
Well, he's about that far away from me right now, so hey.
All right. But Ken or Ofer, does that affect animals too?
Yeah.
Your work? Yeah.
I see them coming into the room all the time for folks. I don't specifically work on animals. I don't have a problem with it. It's just not my thing. But my God, they pile into the room and they lay in the lap. They're hanging out, right? They're just they get calm every time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
If you think of if you think of the body subtle energy system as a chakra system, then animals are no different. They're organized in a similar way, and what affects us affect them.
Great.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Desirea, Sheila, Ken, and Ofer, and of course, my good buddy Alan. We will, of course, be back with more Awakening World shows and more Making Contact shows. I do want to let people know about what's going on before we go to Omashar. We've got a really beautiful show happening this Saturday night. It's going to be Truth, Beauty, and Goodness. It's wrapping up World Unity Week. And it's another collaboration with our beloved Tangela and her Soul Searchers. Again, it's going to be wonderful psychics and healers doing what we saw tonight, providing healing experiences. So if any of you wanted to get a healing and it didn't happen tonight, come back on Saturday night. Trisha, I'll put you at the top of the list. But we also have great music happening on Saturday night. Of course, beloved Omashar will be with us, but also Ray Amana is coming back and she's going to do a couple of tunes. And Eden Amadora is going to be both presenting and providing us with her brand new video and song. So join us for Truth, Beauty, and Goodness this Saturday night. And of course, we will open that show just as we open every show and close every show with our beloved house musical artist, Omashar.
Omashar, yes, Omashar.
Thank you, Alan. What a powerful show! Holy smoke! I've been cut, diced, and reassembled in every shape, way, and form. Thank you, all of you, so much. I feel so grounded and present, which is always a truth factor for me. And this is a group song I'm going to sing now, or we're going to sing. Please keep yourself muted, but sing along. I'm going to put the lyrics in the chat. We all know it. We've done it several times, but it felt appropriate for tonight, especially with Diara's family. So there it is in the chat, and change mic source.
And we're off. There's only one heart, one love in this life we live. We live. We
And maintaining the beautiful vibration that we're feeling of oneness, let's go into our prayer time and sending maximum grace to all the places in the world where pain and suffering is taking place. Tapping into our gratitude for how blessed and privileged our lives are. And we simultaneously are grateful for our lives while sending love and light to those who are suffering. Maximum grace for all beings everywhere. Maximum grace for our awakening world. And gratitude for healers like Ken and Ofer and Sheila, Desirea, and each and every one of you, because everybody watching, whether you're in the Zoom room or on Facebook or on YouTube or watching the recording, you're all playing a precious role in the healing and awakening of our planet. Thank you, everybody, for a beautiful show, beautiful evening, and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday night. Good night, everybody.